Noswaith dda pawb. Good evening, everyone. Firstly, my thanks to the CDPS for inviting me to share my experiences completing the programme. It feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago, all in one space. It's been such a busy year, but it's really nice to reflect and celebrate. So very briefly, to anyone who hasn't met me before, my background, so 23 years in local government this month. Around 9 of those years within the senior leadership team and the Education Directorate in Swansea Council, and in very small nutshell, my remit is planning, performance and improvement. But it was in 2022 that I was given a really exciting opportunity to have the data and information systems team come within my area of responsibility. And I've known that team a very long time, but managing them, I got to know them even more. Very experienced, knowledgeable and very creative team who support the local authority, schools and external agencies. But they were stifled by the technology that they had. Very, very old. And instead of developing new ways of working, because they are very creative and knowledgeable, they were firefighting issues all of the time. So we developed a strategy in early 2023. We've just refreshed it with the aim to digital be an enabler to support our core purpose. I'll give an example of that. We've got additional learning needs coordinators in schools, supporting our most vulnerable learners. But often trying to put their development plans into a system that would wipe it halfway through, for example. So having one that worked for them and helped them do their core purpose was really valuable to us. So we developed our digital transformation programme. There are a number of projects, but a few key ones that we're doing. So our education information system, that's our core system that's used in the Directorate. Whole host of functions, additional learning needs, admissions, our central pupil records to do data analysis and things. Schools information system, so a few of you may be aware of that in other local authorities, been a lot of work around that across Wales. And we decided we needed to do our financial management system at the same time because it was linked. That makes it doubly complicated. And then our catering operations. So the front end is quite often easy with pupils choosing what they want, but the back end is hundreds of staff that support our catering operations across schools in Swansea. So I'm sure other local authorities. So trying to get that right is really key. So in terms of the programme itself, I became aware of the CDPS before the programme. There was a piece of work exploring options for schools MIS that was supported, and that was incredibly helpful to us, and that kick-started us and our work with the schools MIS. There has been game change in terms of suppliers developing for Wales. That's opened up some of those options to us even further. But the comms promoting the launch event, for me, really seemed like something I was interested in. I am a local government leader, but I'm not a techie. I don't know an awful lot. I don't work in IT. So this was really interesting how I could perhaps support this team to deliver the best way that they can. And I live in Carmarthenshire, so it was only up the road, so I didn't really have an excuse not to come. But it was 5 days of really open and honest discussion, and I learned quite a lot of new things, and you gave some examples around some of the things that we learned. But I also became the opportunity to reflect on the areas that I already knew. And I think it's healthy for everybody to take that opportunity to evaluate what they're doing. Quite often we're so busy and fast-paced, we don't really take the time to stop and reflect whether we are actually doing those things well. So that was a really good opportunity for that as well. I did highlight some areas in the video, so I'm not going to repeat any of those. So I'm going to highlight really the mix of the group and the value of the group that was there, a range of roles of different sectors and different levels of responsibility. So even within leaders, there was a spectrum of how senior those leaders were. But I felt that that really gave really valuable insight from a whole host of different perspectives, and also to Tash and the CDPS staff, because everybody's experiences and knowledge from a whole host of different experiences gave really good solutions to a range of scenarios, and that really, I learned a lot from that. There were individuals on the course with particular areas of knowledge, and I feel comfortable to reach out to them on LinkedIn should I need them. And I'm keeping an eye on other cohorts as well as they're coming through and what roles they have. So I'm rubbish on LinkedIn, but I will definitely keep using it for that. So in terms of our progress since the programme, so we've successfully implemented our new education MIS. I'm really pleased about that. And it's one that's been developed by another local authority in Wales. We really feel that it understands what our needs are as a local authority. And we've implemented our core system, additional learning needs admissions. Our mid-year transfers was really clunky, so that's really digitalised now and much better with really positive feedback. But we are looking at how we further enhance our processes. For example, our school uniform grant, and the front end to parents is quite a straightforward web form, but the back end to that, where they're processing it, again, is very manual and takes a long time. Then our schools information systems, I'd just like to give a nod to the WLGA's work to facilitate the development of requirement specification. So there are a number of local authorities that contributed to the development of that, but that was incredibly valuable to us as a local authority because it gave us the basis to undertake a really thorough options appraisal of the different things that, different suppliers that would be suited to us. And we just refined it ever so slightly for our local requirements, and that enabled us to procure a new system. It is a very complex project. We've got 94 school settings in Swansea, and each one of those schools has their own range of third-party apps that they want to connect into it. And we've got the financial management system replacement happening alongside it. So it's incredibly complex, but it is working well. We are delivering to planned timescales. And again, I'd just like to give my thanks to Hub colleagues because their organisation alongside our organisation has meant that we are delivering to time and with flexibility. In terms of our catering operations, that's been a tougher nut to crack. It's really difficult. We've looked out there, we've reached out to other local authorities and other organisations. Lots of people have something, but nothing's perfect. So I'm going to use my speech as an opportunity now. So if anyone is doing this well, please reach out to me. Or if anyone wants to work with us to develop something that works really well, please reach out to me. I'd love to work with you. So in terms of challenges ahead, I think my first words, I've got 3 words here. Expectations is the first one. A lot of people think new IT systems are really easy to deliver and implement, like it's their laptop at home. It really isn't. I try to manage people's expectations. There are nearly always niggles when you roll out a new system. They take a little while to iron out, but they will get there in the end. Speed, again, people expect things to happen really fast. To do it right, you need to take your time and do it properly. The next one is around resources. I think all public sector organisations, really are pressed in terms of financial and staffing resources. We're quite often small organisations, and I strongly believe, hopefully you've picked that up through my earlier words, is that working together is key. I think there's so much power in that, and not just local government working together, but the vast range of public sector organisations we have in Wales. The final challenge, I think, is change fatigue and anxiety around change. That is a lot of effort that goes into that. And as people who facilitate change, it can be quite tiring as well. So let's look after ourselves and each other. And again, working together helps us deliver it well. So I think that's my 10 minutes. It's gone really, really quickly. So more than happy to chat to you after the event. But until then, diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much. Thank you.